So now we're starting a new topic called equations, and it's very, very similar and very relatable to algebra. So hopefully you haven't forgot all that we've learnt so far, and that you can use the knowledge that we've built in the previous topic to help us review the language of equations, forming equations, and solving equations. We did a bit of this last year in year 7, so a lot of this will be similar, so hopefully you remember that as well. Similar to what we learnt last topic, we just need to really remember for this exercise what the difference between an expression is and an equation. So an equation is what we're focusing on, and it includes an equal sign. So an equation has a left-hand side and a right-hand side. If the left-hand side of the equation has the same value as the right-hand side of the equation with an equal sign in the middle, it is a true statement. Otherwise, it is a false statement. So for example here, you can see that on the left-hand side, we have 14 plus 2, which would be 16. And obviously on the right-hand side, we also have 16. So this is our left-hand side, this is our right-hand side, and because they're both equal to 16, then this is a true equation. So let's look at some examples. Here we have on the left-hand side 3 times 5, which is 15, 4 plus 11, which is also 15. And because we have our equal sign, that makes it true. Here we have a different type of sign. Here we have a does not equal to. So we're hoping to have two different numbers. Here on the left we have 15, and here on the right we have 4. They are obviously not the same, but we do have this does not equal sign symbol, which makes this a true statement. Here we have a few more things. Do a bit of BODMAS. This gives us 24 plus 8. This gives us 32 altogether. And here we have 2 times 4, which is 8. My left-hand side is 32. My right-hand side is 8. That makes this a false statement because they are not equal. Okay, this symbol here tells us everything. They are not equal. Here we have 4 times 6, which is 24, plus 8 again, gives us 32. And on the right-hand side, we also have 32. If this was to be a true statement, we should be having equals. But obviously, they've given us a not equal sign, so this makes us think that this is a false statement. We're going to spend a lot of time after this exercise working out different ways to find the solution to an equation. And a solution to an equation is where we find a value that makes this equation true. So for example, here, we want to find what value of x makes this equation true. Okay, and there's going to be a whole heap of techniques that we're going to learn. The process of finding a solution is called solving, okay, and that's what we're going to be doing. In an equation with a pronumeral, like x, the pronumeral is also called the unknown. So here we need to find out what value of x makes this statement true. What makes the left-hand side equal to the right-hand side? So we know the right-hand side is 16, so that means our left-hand side needs to also be equal to 16. Something plus 2 gives us 16. Well, that something should be 14. Because 14 plus 2 equals 16. So that means that our x here equals 14. Let's look at a bit more of a difficult example. 5 equals 3x minus 10. Now, because we've done a bit of work on algebra, we know that 3x is the same thing as writing 3 times x. And now, we want to know what value x is. So we know that in BODMAS, okay, we need to figure out this thing first. So obviously we need to know something take away 10 has to give us 5. So that something should be 15. So 15 take away 10 equals 5, but we still haven't figured out what x is. Okay, we know now that something times 3 has to equal 15. So 3 times 5 is 15, and that's going to equal 5. Now this does look confusing, okay, because we're just doing this by looking around at it, but eventually we're going to figure out a way to do this a bit more process-based. So if that's the case, then we know now that this 5 is what our x should have been. And this makes all this a true statement when x equals 5. So here on your screen are some common words that we use for the plus symbol, the division symbol, subtraction symbol, and multiplication symbol. Probably the words you've all heard of before, but this is a good point of reference for you that when we're doing our worded questions, you can come back to this page and you can have a look at words that you might not have known the meaning of. Same thing here for the equal sign. So when we say that something equals something, we can also say that it gives a result of, or results in, or is. I'm sure there's a few more words, but these are the main ones. And these are the type of questions that you will get when you have to change a worded equation into a maths equation. So for example, here we have the number k is doubled. So straight away I know that that's 2 times k. And then 3 is added, so plus 3. And the result is 52. Hopefully your 5s look a lot like 5s, unlike mine, which look like S's. Akira works N hours, earning $12 per hour. So sometimes you need to think about this as well. So if Akira works N hours, N, she's making $12 per hour. So that's multiplied by 12. Okay, that's her total earning was 156. So the word total gives you the equal sign hint. And because we're dealing with maths here, we don't have to put in the dollar sign. We can just put in 12 times n equals 156. And because we're doing algebra sort of, we're going to put the number at the front without the multiplication symbol. Okay, so now we can now figure out later on when we learn the skills how many hours she worked.